Welcome and thank you to everyone for joining us today for Cert Matters Live Online 2020. My name is Andrew Griggs. I am COO at Prodigy Learning and your compere for this final webinar in our online series. Cert Matters was born 3 years ago and is now a firm fixture in many of your calendars. It is a chance for us all at Prodigy Learning to meet, collaborate and celebrate with our customers, partners and students. It doesn't seem a year since we celebrated in London and a lot has happened since then. It is with sadness and disappointment that we have had to postpone our annual in-person celebration of digital skills and move to an online event. Everyone's health and safety is of utmost importance, and we all at Prodigy Learning hope that everyone remains safe and well. Despite the circumstances, we are delighted to continue our Cert Matters Live tradition. Moving online has given us the opportunity to expand the reach of our traditional London event and welcome educators today from across the world. Thank you to those that have stayed up late to join us from Australia. And good morning to those that are joining early from the United States. For many of you, Cert Matters has been a regular calendar event, and we very much appreciate your commitment to join and take part. Before we get started, I have a number of housekeeping points to run through. Firstly, this session will be recorded and can be found later today online at www.certmatters.com. We will be hosting live Q&A with our guests, so please pose questions in the Q&A window on your screen. We will try to get through as many of these as possible in the time that we have. You will see on the screen the Twitter handles of our guest speakers. Please continue the conversation on Twitter and don't forget to add hashtag CMLLive20 when tweeting. Cert Matters Live Online has been running through June. We've had some fantastic speakers from Robert Bradley at UTC Reading talking about embedding professional qualifications into student programs, to a fantastic session by Adobe on creativity being the new productivity. And who can forget our amazing session with Microsoft VP of Education, Anthony Sorcito and Professor Derek Foster on developing Azure skills to secure cloud computing careers. Don't worry if you missed any of these sessions, they are available online to watch on demand via certmatters.com. Okay, now for the main event. I can't believe we have reached the final week, but we have an amazing session lined up for you this afternoon. We have two fantastic speakers and two highly respected individuals for this international webinar who will be talking with us about their passion for computer science. There is great pride from all at Prodigy Learning as our speakers will talk about our very own coding in Minecraft credentials. In a few minutes, I'll be handing over to North Carolina's Director of K-12 Computer Science and Technology, Dr. Mary Hemphill, and Michelle Lee, computer science teacher from Alston Ridge Middle School, who will walk us through how they are embedding computer science to their curriculum for middle school students. But first, Prodigy Learning CEO, Andrew Flood, will set the scene with a quick introduction to our Coding in Minecraft program. Over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew, and to all of those who have joined today's session. I'm delighted to be sharing the stage with these trailblazing educators from North Carolina. For those who are joining us for the first time, Prodigy Learning is a digital skills and certifications business working in education across the UK, Europe, Australia and the United States. We're passionate about developing platforms that enable learners to develop and prove skills. Today's students are facing the toughest job market of our lifetime. Job-ready skills are critical to their future employability. Our footprint in education has given us a unique insight into the importance of encouraging students to take up STEM pathways at school, leading to computer science career opportunities. A few years ago, we started working with our customers to identify the major barriers to increasing and diversifying student participation in computer science and K-12 education. Two themes consistently stood out worldwide. Firstly, we saw a clear lack of student interest in computer science by high school. Research tells us that children's perceptions are being shaped at a younger age. We need to be engaging children earlier in computer science concepts. Secondly, there is limited teacher capacity to introduce coding in most schools. It needs to be easy to teach. That frames our challenge. We needed a solution that could help democratize computer science education. Every child, no matter their gender, race, or background, should have an equal opportunity to study coding at school and progress onto a computer science career opportunity. Together with our key customers, over the last few years, we've worked to build a solution. We settled on creating a curriculum solution immersed in the world's most popular video game, Minecraft, with the aim of engaging a young and diverse student audience and making it easy to teach for teachers of little or no computer science or coding background. Our resulting Coding in Minecraft program is a series of credentials with supporting curriculum designed to teach computer science and coding skills using Minecraft Education Edition. The credentials prove the students have the coding skills and are fun to achieve. The easy to teach curriculum is student-led and teacher-facilitated, where students can learn at their own pace, immersed in a Minecraft world. Students complete learning activities and submit evidence to our Azure-hosted online portal, where teachers can grade and provide formative feedback along the student journey. It was important to us to align the credentials to standards such as the CSTA and various US state and global standards, including Ofqual units in the UK. Comprehensive instructor resources, including class outlines and lesson plans, are provided to give teachers the tools that they need to succeed in the classroom. Each credential has an immersive curriculum where students learn in a Minecraft world, and each should take approximately 20 hours to complete. The curriculum for each credential is broken down into a series of lessons, with each containing learning activities and an assessment where students prove their understanding of the content. The curriculum is remote ready and can be used either in a traditional classroom environment or remotely with students and teachers outside of the classroom, the circumstances that we've sadly found ourselves in over the last number of months. Upon completion of the assessments, students upload evidence to the online portal for their teacher to assess. This evidence usually takes the form of screen captures of their work. The online portal allows the teacher to grade this evidence as either successfully achieving the criteria or needing further work and a resubmission. The platform allows for formative feedback, where the teacher and student can add comments to the submission for either positive reinforcement or suggestions on how to improve. Comprehensive answer keys in the lesson plans assist teachers with the grading process. The Capstone Credential exam validates student skills across the objective domains of all three courses and can be taken through the online portal. When students are ready, the teacher makes the exam available and can proctor the exam. In the 50-minute, 30-question exam, questions take the format of multiple choice or drag and drop, similar to industry certifications that students can easily progress to after achieving the Coding in Minecraft credentials. Upon completion of the exam, students are presented with a score report detailing their strengths and weaknesses in the objective domain. Immediately upon passing the exam, students can download the Capstone Credential certificate, which independently validates their skills and encourages them to continue learning. Like I mentioned, the credentials are standards aligned to the CSTA and various state standards in the US, including being recognized as a Florida Digital Tools certificate. When we launched Coding in Minecraft in the UK in 2018, little did we appreciate how universal and global this challenge is, and how this program could play a part in advancing computer science education around the world. We were really excited to bring Coding in Minecraft to the United States last year, and particularly to North Carolina, who were our first pilot state and are blazing a trail in advancing computer science education for all their students. So we're delighted to have Dr. Hemphill and Michelle Lee here with us today to share a bit more about the great work that they're doing.
Thank you, Andrew. As I mentioned at the top, something that we all at Prodigy Learning are hugely proud of developing, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how many positive outcomes it can help to shape. Now that coding in Minecraft has been introduced, it is time for me to hand over to our special guests. First of all, I would like to introduce North Carolina's Director of K-12 Computer Science and Technology and founder of the Limitless Leader, Dr. Mary Hemphill. Dr. Hemphill, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It is a pleasure to be here with everyone today and really talk about our journey in North Carolina with coding in Minecraft, but also with computer science, which started a little over a year ago. When I was appointed as the state's first director of K-12 Computer Science and Technology Education, we had to grapple with certain realities around computer science as it was framed and voted on by our state board to be added to the North Carolina Standard Course of Study. This was exciting news because this meant that our 1.6 million children across our state were going to have computer science standards, curriculum, resources, and support from the time they entered our schools as kindergartners all the way through their high school experience. But it was a very different conversation. As you can see here, US News and World Report ran a headline just 2 years ago that said computer science is future-proof. When we look at the US Department of Labor, we know that by 2026, our country will need 2.2 million coders. And that's everything from the engineers, software developers, all of the infrastructure and knowledge that will be needed for our students to go into high-tech careers. And so as we started having conversations at the State Department about computer science, it was very much a different conversation and approach than English language arts, science, social studies, or even mathematics, because computer science was living and breathing. And so we knew that this would be a heavy lift, but we wanted to start with really bringing the right people around the table. So next slide, please. As we started to look at the legislation, our General Assembly was very specific in asking us to expand computer science opportunities to all students across our state. We have two big missions, and the first mission is to create and contribute. That means that we wanted our students, after they have had an opportunity to be exposed to the standards and to be able to integrate into their content areas, we wanted them to not only create apps, we wanted them not only to be able to code those different things that they were experiencing, but also to be contributors to the tech scene. And so that meant that we had to move them from consumers. So for instance, we didn't just want them to be on Instagram using Instagram, we wanted them to understand what's happening behind the scenes. We wanted them to be able to be those creators, to be those coders, and in the digital economy. And that's really what it is. We've had very robust conversations about what digital citizenry looks like in our country. And so now we were going to be able to undergird their experiences throughout their public education career, because the second vision and goal is that they actively engage as informed citizens in our complex technology-driven world. Now, when we started this work, it was very, very interesting to hear even our kindergarten teachers say, how in the world are we going to teach computer science to kindergartners? Well, I know for me, I've been in the supermarket many times and I've seen the toddlers and the strollers reaching for their mom's smartphone, and they know to put their mom's thumb over the home key and it will unlock their phone, right? So we are not calling it those things, but that's cybersecurity. And so what we've done on the next slide, please, is we have worked with our teachers across the state, kindergarten through 12th grade teachers, over almost 80 teachers across our state, and asked them how they will grapple with the computer science standards. What do these standards look like when we integrate authentically and realistically with English language arts, science, social studies, and math? We've asked school leaders and district leaders across our state how they will be able to implement and hold our teachers accountable, as well as elevate experiences for our students in coding, robotics, engineering, cybersecurity, virtual reality. We've even had curriculum leaders come to the table who lead K-12 institutions, both private and public, about how they will react when it comes to developing curricula with our teachers and with the teachers in mind. And then one of the biggest pieces is, as we were creating the standards, we brought 32 external stakeholders to the table. Information from all business leaders, tech companies, start tech companies, We brought them to the table and we said, when you have employees come to you or when you have interviews, what skills are you looking for in the computer science field that we can embed in our standards? We took the national CSTA standards and we specifically mapped those to the North Carolina content areas. And so that's what really is going to set us apart, because the reality is that computer science looks different from the mountains to the coast. And this will be one of the first highly differentiated standard course of studies that we will see in our state, which was very instrumental as we go to the next slide. Because as we thought about coding in Minecraft and really had conversations with the team at Prodigy, they have created the coding in Minecraft modules to specifically map those and walk those across to the standards. So middle school teachers, like one of the most amazing teachers you'll hear from in a few minutes, Michelle Lee, she will be able to not only implement coding in Minecraft, but it will be satisfying those requirements for the 5 big containers where we've placed each of our standards. Those standards are computing systems, networks and the internet, data and analysis, algorithm and programming, and the impacts of computing. So not only will students be able to go into Michelle's classroom and have a conversation and have dialogue and discussion around some of the principles that Andrew Flood just went over when it comes to celebrating their accomplishments with those modules, but they are learning multi-tiered layers of the computer science standards that we're building in our state and getting real, authentic, practical application that's going to help them in the real world. And I believe that's what's going to set this component apart, is because as a K-12 initiative and one that we're building from the ground up, it requires robust structures, robust support at every level. And so being able to provide this to our middle school students is going to give them a great start and a leg up before they go into high school. So we've just started this work. We're very excited about it. And I'm just honored to be able to lead this discussion and get the right people around the table to make this happen. So I'm going to turn it back over to Andrew, and thank you all so much.
That's amazing and fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Hemphill. As a father of twin boys who are 4 and approaching school, I've certainly taken inspiration from that and inspiration for wanting to move to North Carolina. So look, the students and the children there are blessed to have you guys leading those programs. So look, thank you ever so much for your presentation there. I'm equally honoured to introduce our next speaker to talk about their experience within the classroom and with coding in Minecraft curriculum. Thank you for joining us and welcome Michelle Lee, computer science teacher from Alston Ridge Middle School in Wake County, who's going to talk us through practical implementation. So Michelle, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a huge fan of the Prodigy Learning coding in Minecraft curriculum. I am a middle school computer science teacher. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade computer science. So I do teach all of the grade levels, and I'm just so excited that this curriculum exists with the 3 different level courses so that I can offer this. I'm offering this to my 6th graders with the introductory course, my 7th graders with the intermediate course, and then my 8th graders are going to be doing the advanced course, and with the Capstone project for my 8th graders. And the micro credentials are really important to talk about as well, because this gives us a lot of, brings a whole new level to the program. And it's very important when we talk to parents and stakeholders about this curriculum and why we're doing this in our schools in North Carolina. These credentials are industry-based credentials, and that's very important for parents to hear. They want to know that their student is not just going in to play Minecraft. This is a big mountain that we have to climb when we talk to parents. As soon as they hear the word Minecraft, they automatically get a little apprehensive because they know it's a game. But really what this is truly immersive game-based learning with the Prodigy curriculum. Students are immersed in the Minecraft world, but they're doing some intensive coding activities, and it's not just all, jumping around and playing around. It's very different. It's very well planned. It's very well thought out. I love the way that Prodigy has designed the world so that students go in and they interface with the NPCs in Minecraft. And for those of you that are not familiar with NPCs, we need to talk about that a little bit. NPC is a non-player character, and they give information and they interact with the student. So when the student gets to an NPC, they right-click on the NPC and a dialog box pops up, and it gives them a piece of information. It gives them a challenge. It may give them a task, an activity to do in coding, but there's something there that the student is going to be interacting with. And as Andrew and Dr. Hemphill mentioned, this is very student driven. Teacher is the facilitator, as Andrew mentioned, and this is a huge shift for teachers. We're used to being the gatekeepers of knowledge. That is not how this works. This is truly student driven. It is truly project-based learning. And as the students move along, I often say to my students, this is like a quest. You're going on a quest in this curriculum. You start with the first NPC player and they give you information. Then you go to the next one. They give you more information. They give you activities, coding activities that you need to do. So it's very well planned. It's very well thought out. It's a beautiful curriculum. It's super easy for teachers like me. And I'm going to be honest, I do not have a computer science degree. I came from a totally different background in career and technical education. I was teaching textiles and apparel in career and technical education, and I started doing coding with my students years ago in my I did electronic textiles, and that's how I got into coding with my students. So I don't have a formal computer science degree, which I'm here to tell people that you can do it. It's very easy with this curriculum. The way it's set up with the portal, it's beautifully created and it's super easy for you to implement. The other thing I want to talk about is about boys and girls in this curriculum and how the myth that boys excel at Minecraft and boys are the dominant players, not true. My best coders and my best players are girls, believe it or not. And that's why one of the main reasons I'm here. Dr. Hemphill is aware of my big passion to increase. We need to close the gender gap in technology and computer science. And I love it in my classroom when they're in there in these worlds in the curriculum in Prodigy Learning, and you know the girls are excelling. So you really need to change your whole mindset when you're doing what you think, and the kids drive it. The students will drive it. You do not need to be an expert in Minecraft to run this curriculum successfully. In fact, one of my best friends in my district did this pilot. She was one of the original pilot teachers in this pilot a year ago, and she has had tremendous success, and she doesn't know Minecraft at all. She never, ever opened the game in her life. The students are the experts in this area. So it's a total shift to student-driven learning and project-based learning. And as Andrew said before, it's the way it's designed. It can be done remotely 100%, or it can be done in the classroom 100%. So if you're in the classroom with your students doing this, you want to be walking around the room, looking at their screens, interacting with your students, and it's not a hands-off thing either. You definitely want to see what they're doing. And I do a lot of formative assessment, not just in the portal, as Andrew was saying, but also I walk around the room and I see what my students are up to, and I talk to them about what they're doing, and they will have questions. I mean, they may get stuck on a coding challenge, and they're going to need me for that for sure. But the beautiful thing about teaching in Minecraft is that it's a universal language, and it's the #1, as Andrew was saying, the #1 video game of all time in the entire world, and it's very global. I had a boy, a 7th grade boy, come into my classroom. He just moved here from Portugal in February, and he was able, I asked him if he knew Minecraft. He barely spoke any English, very little English, spoke Portuguese. And he said yes, and he jumped right on there and got into it. And with the immersive reader, that's very important. With the immersive reader in Minecraft, when you get to the NPC and you open up their dialogue box, that can be translated into every language with the immersive reader, which is it's the most powerful tool, I feel anyway, that I've seen to help scaffold and support students with special needs. Also with language barriers for your ESL and your ELL students. And I had another student, 7th grade student, with a visual impairment, and she was able to open up the immersive reader. And when the immersive reader opens up, it blows up the text. So it actually enlarges the text on the screen, which is fantastic for students and it also reads aloud. So you have automatic read aloud built into the program. And that is a huge game changer because we all have students. If you're a teacher, you're going to have students with special needs in your classroom. So that's what I have to say. I'm so excited for this. I mean, this curriculum for me, from a teacher perspective, is one of the easiest ones I've ever implemented. I've taught a lot of different coding platforms in my career since I started coding with my students years ago. This is by far the best and the easiest. It's seamless. And it's 100% end-to-end turnkey solution. for a teacher from a teacher perspective. You don't have to piecemeal anything together. Everything's in the portal with Prodigy Learning. So I applaud the team for putting together a tremendous curriculum, and I'm a huge fan, as you can tell. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you, Michelle. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you both, Dr. Hemphill. Thank you, Michelle. Look, we're honoured and delighted to have you both join us this afternoon. We do have a number of questions that have come in, so look, please both do hang around, and Andrew Flood, please jump in with questions as well. There are some questions which are coming in which we'll answer further on down about samples and demos, and we'll run through those. But Dr. Hemphill, if it's okay, I'll start with the question here for yourself that's come in. It's around the computer science standards, and for North Carolina, what did it mean to be able to embed the coding in Minecraft into computer science standards? What difference did that make?
Absolutely. What we know is that teacher leaders are inundated with ask, not only at their local levels where they have expectations, professional expectations. They also have local curricula that they have to implement, but also the heavy lift of making sure that they're differentiating for every student in other content areas. So teacher leaders already have a lot on their plate. What we wanted to do with coding in Minecraft and really having that authentic crosswalk according to the standards is we wanted to be able to help their students master skills very realistically in a timely manner, but very efficiently. So that was huge for us because, like Michelle said, with not having a background in computer science, we wanted to make it realistic for our teachers so that they could say, you know what, we're not only meeting the North Carolina standard for computer science, but we're also meeting some of our math standards. And we're also getting some of our problem solving and computational thinking standards in there as well. Being able to integrate on that level and being able to show our teachers and our students ways that they could not only gain skills, but also meet those curriculum expectations at the local and state level was such a heavy burden that was lifted off of us at the state level, because it was almost your all-in-one answer to how you can make computer science real, how you can make it fun, and how you can have long-reaching effects with that. So that was a huge ask, and gratefully Prodigy was able to answer that call for us, and amazingly.
Thank you for that one. And just to kind of feed from that, you touched upon in your presentation briefly about the impact on girls in STEM and how Minecraft is helping to drive, the number of girls looking to participate. How have you seen that impact on your own programs, your own courses, not just with the coding in Minecraft, but then further down the line as they progress through their curriculum and through their education?
Yeah, so I'm so glad you brought that up and asked that question, because we have actually launched a campaign called #IamComputerScience. Michelle is actually in the first cohort of the ambassadors that will represent the state, but it is truly about not only increasing the number of female students that we have in STEM careers, but also our underprivileged students and historically marginalized populations. What we know across the state and across the country is that only 18% of women are pursuing computer science degrees. And so Girls Who Code put out a report last year that shows that the efforts and the lifts of some states regarding gender equity are really truly not reaching our students on a level playing field. What we wanted to do in North Carolina is we wanted to show our young ladies, we wanted to show our rural populations and communities, and we wanted to show our historically marginalized students and schools that technology, that STEM and that coding was something that was available for them. And so we elevated across our state women who are living, learning, and leading. We had the state's first cybersecurity officer who works for the Department of Information Technology. And she talked about how she went to Israel and talked about international cybersecurity. We've got Michelle, who represents Wake County, and she talks authentically about how she uses computer science on a daily basis to reach students. And so what we're seeing is, Sally Ride said it best, if young women want to be it, they have to see it. So we had to put North Carolina women and elevate them, showing them coding, showing them doing engineering, artificial intelligence, policy and research and tech, so that you can reach up and have a role model that not only looks like you, but it's from your state. And that also highlighted our computer science landscape and ecosystem. So we've been very successful with that. We have reached to date over 10,000 young girls with Girls Who Code clusters. We've got our ambassadors who are reaching out and starting robotics teams, and we're even creating an interface right now for other teachers to join the movement with young ladies. So we're blessed and very excited to be able to do that.
That's amazing. I feel like I'm using the words amazing and fantastic a lot, but it truly is. It's truly inspirational. I have another question here just to tackle, and maybe start with you, Andrew Flood, and then we'll go around and ask everybody else the same question. But how does the Coding in Minecraft program differ to the free coding content that's available directly through Minecraft?
Oh,
very good question, and I think it's one that we get a lot, and it is ultimately designed to complement the fantastic set of resources that are available not only from the Minecraft Education Edition team, but also from great teachers all around the world. The key for us when we put Coding in Minecraft together was to address those key pillars that I spoke about earlier on. So having something that would engage the learners through Minecraft, but also to make it really, really easy to teach. So it's designed to be a wrapped solution that is ready to teach, that's ready to go. So it doesn't require that computer science experience or expertise from the teacher, or indeed deep Minecraft expertise or experience from the teacher. And they can go in, take it, implement it in their classroom with a great confidence that it will deliver success for their students, but also proven outcomes at the end, that they can see the students progress through the credentials and onto the Capstone exam that independently validates those skills. So complete solution along with assessment and the credentials that give proof of skills at the end. That's probably the main differences I would see, and again sits very complementary to a lot of the great free resources that are out there as well.
Thanks, and I'll open that question up to Dr. Hemphill and to Michelle as well. You know, for a slightly different angle, from your own perspective, from an educator perspective, why choose Coding in Minecraft versus free content that's available?
Specifically for us is, again, because this is something that's living and breathing, and we wanted to really see engagement, starting with Minecraft at the core is something that is not only highly recognizable, but automatically we saw that our teachers and our students were authentically engaged in it. So being able to work with Coding in Minecraft and being able to show them again how they can be creators and contributors to the digital economy through the platform was very instrumental for us, versus something because the free material didn't necessarily map right to our standards. And Coding in Minecraft was so specific and granular that our teachers, again, like Michelle said, it's turnkey. They were able to take it, be embraced in it, and we just got such an overwhelming response at how authentically our students were like, okay, when are we doing Coding in Minecraft? And then walking away, again, not only with those credentials, it's a win-win for our teacher leaders and student leaders.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
Sorry, Michelle, no, it was yours.
I was just going to jump on that point that Dr. Hemphill was making. I'm going to be honest with you, and I love, trust me, the Minecraft education site is amazing, and there's so many amazing resources for all subject areas, not just computer science, but ELA, language arts, math, science, arts, culture. It's amazing, and it's all free. But from a teacher's perspective, I teach 6 classes a day, 30 students, 180 students a day, back-to-back classes. From a teacher's perspective, day in and day out, I need that turnkey solution that Prodigy Learning offers, because it's not just the content that we're getting with Prodigy Learning, it's the assessment tools, it's the formative feedback, and it's the micro-credentials and the Capstone certification that's all built into the Prodigy Learning system. It's 100% turnkey and is very user-friendly for teachers. Doing it with the free content is something that you have to piece together. It doesn't have all of those components built in. And also, like I said before, in our county specifically, credentials are very, very important in what we do, because parents want to know that their child is getting something at the end of the rainbow. What is my child earning? They are earning a micro-credential with the possibility of earning a Capstone certification in 8th grade at the end of this course. So it does really matter. Our parents, parents nowadays, they want the best for their students, and this is the best. And from a teacher's perspective, it is the easiest to implement. I couldn't do this with 180 students a day with using the free content. It would be too much work on a teacher's end, and there's not enough formative assessment and the actual assessment information built into the free online was out there for free.
Thank you, Michelle. And there's another question here just around Minecraft Education Edition as a tool. Does the teacher use the Minecraft Education Edition version of Code Generator to write the code in class?
I'd like to answer that question if it's okay with you guys.
Absolutely, please do.
The code platform inside Minecraft Education Edition is Code Builder. In Minecraft Education Edition, we call it Code Builder, and it's named Code Builder, but it's actually MS MakeCode from Microsoft. It's the same exact platform. So if you're familiar with MS MakeCode, this is going to be really easy for a teacher who knows MS MakeCode already. If you don't, it's fine. You can learn it. It's very simple. You've got your block-based, you've got JavaScript and Python, and they're all in the same editor. They're all on the same screen with your Code Builder when you're coding your agent. So it's very simple. It's all right there. And with the new upgrades of the Prodigy Learning Worlds, which I have to say are fabulous, everything is right there. You're not jumping in and out of the program like before. This is all 100% integrated now. It's fabulous. I give you guys a lot of credit for making those upgrades. That was a major game changer. Major.
Thanks, Michelle, for the compliments. And I think one of the things that I just wanted to share is that a big part of our first year with this program in the United States was actually piloting in North Carolina and a number of other states, and we took a lot of feedback from educators like Michelle, who we've used as reference points in terms of the pain points that teachers are looking to solve in the classroom, and that was a real important point for us as we build this from ultimately from the student up. But really working based on what will make it effective for the teacher in the classroom.
Perfect, thank you, Andrew. I think we've probably time for one more, and I'm going to ask this question, which it's obviously fantastic to hear, the great comments, and we very much appreciate those, as Andrew said. But for Dr. Hemphill and for Michelle, are there any challenges you have faced in implementing this in the classroom?
I'm gonna take a jump at that real quick. The number one challenge is from teachers, from other teachers. I'm actually working with a cohort of teachers right now that are getting into this program for this coming school year in 2021. And there's a myth out there that you have to be an expert in Minecraft to teach this stuff, and that is so not true. So not true. I never opened Minecraft. This past year is the first time I ever even opened the game in my entire lifetime. I am no expert. I know a few things, and that's it. The lady that I teach with, she's doing great with this curriculum, and she has never opened it. The students are the experts in Minecraft, so that's the number one myth and the challenge that we have. The second challenge is parents. When they hear the word Minecraft, they're thinking, oh, they're just going to play in Minecraft and blow things up. No, that's not what we do in this curriculum. This curriculum is very, very, very detailed. It's beautifully laid out. The students go from one NPC to another, and they gather information on their quest to code, and they do their coding challenges, and they're actually hitting all those objectives in the curriculum, like Dr. Hemphill was saying, while they're having fun and doing it. So those are the two biggest challenges that I've seen. The kids love it.
And just to piggyback off what Michelle said, I think she hit the nail on the head. Whenever you're doing something new, you have to get over that initial fear. As humans, we are creatures of habit. And so with the fear that, teachers are thinking, maybe I won't understand it, or maybe I won't be able to implement it properly. I mean, coding in Minecraft is the quintessential response to open design learning, because teacher leaders in this revolution of education that we're seeing across the globe, they're trying to figure out, how do I facilitate knowledge and sort of give up that idea that I'm the only one in the room who understands. And so Michelle, what she's talked about with her journey with coding in Minecraft, we're giving students a tool to be able to navigate back to the teacher and facilitate greater knowledge, because they're walking in the door being able to do that. Coding in Minecraft just helps to codify it. It helps to provide the language. It helps to provide the support. And so the once we're able to help teachers and students get over that initial fear, you know, I say all the time, history breakers or rule breakers. And we're creating something that the world has never seen when it comes to this coding piece and software development and engineering. And so in order to do that, we're gonna have to break from the traditional educational model. And this is the best, one of the best programs I've seen that allows our students and our teachers to be able to navigate that journey together.
And I just want to jump in there one more time and just say in closing that I have taught on several different platforms. As a computer science specialist in middle school, I pretty much know every single coding platform on the market today. I've used them all. And this is by far the most engaging platform because it is Minecraft, and Minecraft is extremely engaging in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. A lot of people say, that's another thing we get. A lot of people say, oh, well, they're too old for this. You know, it's for little kids. That's not true. My 8th graders are just as highly engaged as my 6th graders. They all love it. I have waiting lists for every single one of my classes right now. They're completely full with a waiting list.
Well, look, that's amazing, and once again, you're both very kind. And look, from myself and all at Prodigy Learning, thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to host you both this afternoon and your morning. So, look, very much thank you, and appreciate you taking the time out to join us. Thank you all. Look, moving on. For those of you who would like to find out more about coding in Minecraft, I know there were some questions in the question panel around demos and how you access samples and content. For those who would like to find out more about coding in Minecraft, or if you'd like a free demo, please visit codingcredentials.com and fill out the form at the bottom of the page. If you scroll down on the homepage, there's a form that sits at the bottom. Click on, fill the details, and you'll automatically be sent an email with confirmation of a demo and how to access and use those resources. Before we finish up, a quick recap of our housekeeping points. Today's session, along with our fantastic Cert Matters Live webinars, are available to view online on demand at certmatters.com. So please do go and view any of our webinars, not just today's, back on certmatters.com. And don't forget that you can continue the conversation by following Prodigy Learning or any of our guests on Twitter. And don't forget, please use hashtag CMLLive20 when engaging with any of us. Finally, if you have any questions, or if you would like to learn more about anything that you've seen or heard today, then please do not hesitate to get in contact with us directly. Our details are on the screen now. I'll pause so you can grab those. And then finally, that's a wrap for Cert Matters Live Online 2020. A huge thank you once again to our speakers, Dr. Mary Hemphill and Michelle Lee. Thank you to the Prodigy team behind the scenes for coordinating the sessions and questions. And lastly, thank you to all of you for joining us this afternoon. We wouldn't be here and be able to host an event like Cert Matters Live if it wasn't for our partners and customers. So thank you, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this webinar series. Enjoy the rest of your days or evenings, and do all continue to stay safe and well. Thank you all, and goodbye for now.